Hi, I'm Luther Cyphers, founder and president of YakAttack, and this is YakAttack. We're starting a new series called Rigging the Dream that we're going to use to introduce you guys to new products, tips, and things of that nature. But before we did that, we wanted to first introduce the company, and we thought what a better way to do that than make that episode 1. So here we are at YakAttack. We're going to take you guys inside, take you behind the scenes, give you a little peek behind the curtain as to what goes on here at YakAttack, the people, the processes, and all the things that make us who we are. So come on in, let's have a look. Product and process development are two of the most important things we do here, and we've got software, equipment, prototyping capabilities, and skill sets that are on par with the best companies in the world. Dan Smullen's our technical resource manager. He spends every day making all these things happen, so Dan's going to give you a little bit of insight into what he does here at YakAttack.
As technical resource manager at YakAttack, I have a few distinct responsibilities. The most exciting part of my job is being involved with the prototyping. About 70% of my time is spent doing production programming with our CNC routers and now with the delivery of our new Robodrill. We're using the Robodrill now to produce our aluminum gear tracks. To get the machine ready to produce gear tracks, we first had to develop work fixtures to hold the work. Each process that the machine does needs to be programmed. This demonstrates what the machine is going to do while it's running and tells us how long the process is going to take. It also demonstrates any problems that are going to come up. But this is where we are now. You see, from necessity to concept to model to actual production fixture. And there it is.
All right, so I'm Hunter Rozier. I've been working at YakAttack for a little over a year and a half now, and I work mostly here in the CNC room, pretty much with our starboard products, cutting and finishing them. Pretty much anything we make from starboard, we start it here, cut it out, finish it, you know, drill holes into it, whatever we do for whatever specific piece we're working on. We get and cut and make everything ourselves, so you know, it gives us a lot of freedom to try and design new things. Especially over this last year, we've expanded a lot. You know, we originally just pretty much did the black packs, that was it. Now we're making so much, making our cell blocks. Those are probably one of the more popular ones now. And this is actually one of our newest, it's the Sidewinder.
So since we started YakAttack in 2009, we've experienced a lot of growth, and that's came with its share of challenges. Just managing production, increased workforce, operations. So a little over a year ago, Danny Daniel came on board with us, and he's our production manager, also takes care of all of our IT stuff and a lot of the operations things around here. So Danny, if you want, tell everybody what you do here at YakAttack.
Like Luther was saying, I am the production manager. I've been here about a year. Every day, you know, we have different orders, so it's just a balance of taking the orders we have and, you know, getting the guys producing to get these, you know, orders out the door.
In addition to developing our products here in Burkeville, we also do the assembly here in our shop. So once the products have been assembled, they come over to the packaging area, and this is where we cut poly tubing. We've got little header cards, and we staple all the information on there to go into the retail stores. Another thing we've got over here, in addition to being a manufacturer, we're also a distributor for RAM. So you probably noticed the RAM boxes already. We've got a lot of RAM products here that we stage for resale to retailers. And we also use a lot of those products in our products, so as components. And then over here we've got our finished goods. So once everything's packaged up, it moves over here so that it's ready for packing and shipping. As the number of products and customers has grown, the other thing we've had a challenge with is keeping up with all of that from a sales standpoint. So Wayne too came on board with us very recently, and he does brand management as well as sales and marketing. So Wayne, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do here at YakAttack?
My name is Wayne Tu. I am the brand manager here at YakAttack. I'm probably one of the newer members of the YakAttack family. Some of the other stuff other than brand management that I've been doing is really helping on the sales side, as really paddle shops that weren't traditionally into the kayak fishing space have kind of grown, and the demand has has shifted into more kayak fishing, one of my passions is really working with those retailers and working with those paddle shops to help them understand the needs of kayak anglers. You know, depending on what type of boats they carry, depending on what type of water they fish. I really want to help them cater their kind of product selection to something that's productive, but also something that satisfies the demands of kayak anglers in the area.
Well, that's YakAttack in a nutshell. You've seen the building, you've seen the equipment, you've met the people. And what I want to explain a little bit now is something that we can't show, but we can certainly talk about, and that's kind of what we're about. And part of what we're about is serving this sport. I mean, we want to come up with great products. We want to support our customers, serve our customers, and help grow this sport. But we're also about manufacturing jobs, and that's been a big part of what's driven us to do things the way that we have, and it will be the thing that drives us moving forward. We're in a small town here called Burkeville. It's 1 square mile. I think the population's about between 500 and 600. And this little town used to be a little bit bigger. There used to be some. I think it's a veneer plant that's shut down and overgrown with weeds and stuff. And unfortunately, that's a scenario that's played itself out in too many small towns. So I've personally been in manufacturing since I was 19. I've seen that change firsthand. So that's just a big part of what we're trying to do here. And it's one of the reasons that we're so appreciative of the place that's been made for us in this sport. It's enabled us to fulfill that dream of creating jobs and opportunities for the employees here. So, a lot has changed since that first VisiPole back in 2009 that we made in my buddy's basement. Since then, we've grown. We moved out of our garage at the end of 2011. It was my wife and I, Vicky, working part-time. And I remember our biggest concern when we moved into the new building was what we were going to do on the days that UPS came to pick up and we weren't there to meet the driver, because we were sure there was days that we wouldn't need to work. And those days never came, thanks to great customers and a growing industry. We've been really busy ever since. We've been growing rapidly ever since. Now we're in a 6,000 square foot building. We're currently expanding, working on expansion for about 60% more space. And we're employing 21 people, 13 full-time and the rest part-time, and we're looking for another full-time person now. So it's definitely been a dream that we've lived here, and it's something that we're really appreciative of. We're not just a warehouse. We don't want to be a warehouse. We want to be a manufacturing house. So thanks for helping make that possible for us. The other thing that we've definitely become aware of in the last year or so is that our product line is getting really broad. We have in the hundreds of part numbers now and in the dozens of product lines. And it's getting more difficult for people to understand necessarily all the different ways that a given product can be used. So that's what this Rigging the Dream series is about. We're here in this episode to talk about who we are. In the episodes coming up after this, you'll be hearing more about what we're making and what you can do with the products that we're making. So definitely subscribe to the channel here. It's going to be really good. A lot of good content coming. So anyway, just want to say thanks to everyone for supporting us, helping make all this possible for us. You guys keep being awesome, and we're going to keep rigging the dream.